to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today Around Kansas starts with a story about Max Yoho and his colorful books that capture rural life in Kansas. Next, we learn about the oldest continuously operated movie theater in the U.S. called Plaza Cinemagic, located in Ottawa. And this wet spring has us recalling other times the state has had to deal with floods. We'll end up with a poem from Ron Wilson. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Good morning. It's time for Around Kansas. I'm Frank Chafin, and
I'm Deb Goodrich. Good morning.
Hey, well, we're shooting right now outside the historic Dillon House in the shadow of the state capitol here in Topeka, Kansas. It's a beautiful day, so we thought, hey, why not? But I am ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. We're closer than we usually are. So what are you up to?
Oh, there's just so much going on. Of course, this weekend, Dixie Lee is emceeing Wheatstock. So y'all come out to Old Prairie Town. You know, Old Prairie Town are such good friends of ours, and we've done segments there, and always something happening. So come out and see me and Dixie Lee Jackson at Old Prairie Town.
Well, you have to do Dixie Lee Jackson on one of these sometime.
You know, I will talk Dixie Lee into showing up one morning. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun.
Yeah, give you a brand new partner, Frank.
Well, also, spot in front of the face, you know, this is a baseball fan. It says I'm a baseball fan. This is what they hand out when you go to a vintage baseball game. And there is a Topeka team called the Topeka Westerns, and that's a story we'll be doing. But anyway, it's kind of a cool thing. I've been to a couple of their games, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds awesome. You know, summertime, baseball, you know, we're wearing our flip-flops. We're ready for summertime.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of baseball, I know when I was growing up, there was sandlot baseball, and in the morning, what you do is you go on, you put your baseball glove on the handlebars, stuff a baseball in it, and put a baseball bat across the handlebars, and then go off to the schoolyard, and guys would show up, and then you discuss what the rules would be for the baseball game that day, and that was it. That's what we did. And then in the afternoon, go to the swimming pool. Wasn't that a great time?
Yes, it was. Well, since it's summertime, you know, there's so many events going on around Kansas, and we encourage you to share your events with us. You know, find us on Facebook and send us a picture of what you're doing. Let us know about your event ahead of time, and we can publicize that on Facebook, and let us, you know, we'd be happy to get together with you on some advertising too. You know, we reach everybody in the state.
You betcha.
So we are sincerely around Kansas, so we'd love to hear from you. Welcome summer.
Hey.
We'll be right back. Stay with us. The historic Topeka Cemetery is the oldest chartered cemetery in the state of Kansas. Founded in 1859, it is the resting place of thousands of soldiers and pioneers, the people that created our state and its institutions. It continues to be the sacred burying ground for Kansas families. Come take a tour of historic grave sites or just enjoy the spectacular view of the Topeka skyline. Call us at 785-233-4132 to arrange a visit.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. As fourth-generation farmers themselves, they understand the importance of using the correct products on every acre. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag offers quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today at 800-760-4964 or find us online at HeinenBrothersAg.com.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamInKansas.com. This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Welcome back to Around Kansas. I'm Deb Goodrich, and with me is my very handsome co-star, Frank Chafin. And I have so many great friends. And Frank, you know, that's the fun in doing this show, because I get to share my good and very talented friends with all the folks that are at home. And one of my talented friends is Max Yoho. Do you know Max and Carol by any chance?
No, I do not, but I know who they are.
Of course, because and soon you're going to know who they are. Max is such a talented writer, hysterically funny. His wife, Carol, has been a good friend for a long time. She's involved in the Silent Film Festival and a lot of other projects, a very talented photographer, sells her work. But Max writes about his boyhood, basically just growing up in a small Kansas town. So lots of stuff that all of you can relate to, that, you know, so many of us can relate to. His stories, though, his language, the characters that populate his stories, they are masterpieces and comedy. And if you're ever having a down day, pick up a Max Yoho book, and I guarantee you, you'll feel a lot better. Few authors capture the rural flavor of Kansas more colorfully or humorously than Max Yoho. Award-winning author Don Goldsmith said of Max's book, The Revival, "It is an experience somewhere between Huckleberry Finn and Booth Tarkington's Penrod and Jasper. Actually, any man who has ever been an 11-year-old boy, that is most of us, can relate to or identify with coming of age in a small Kansas town." Born in 1934 in Colony, Kansas, Max grew up in small towns. Moving with his family to Atchison at the age 10, he soon learned that delights and adventures along the Missouri River awaited just outside the well-oiled hinges of his bedroom window screen. Max graduated from Topeka High School and attended Washburn University, where he was a feature writer for the Washburn Review. After a 38-year career as a machinist and being left a widower, Max retired to begin a new career as a writer. The Revival was his first novel, and it was soon followed by Tales from Comanche County. Reviewer Laurel Johnson said, "Tales from Comanche County is humorous fiction, a hilariously skewed version of history, religion, science, and Kansas life in general. The Old West, of which Kansas was a part, grew up on tall tales such as Paul Bunyan and his blue ox Babe. I would not be one bit surprised if Babe and Bunyan lived in Comanche County." The book features an old man with a skewed education in history and religion, and he looks back to summers spent listening to stories on the front porch of his Uncle Jack's ranch. In the story, cattle rustler Leafy Danford lies moldering in his grave. The Emperor of China has come to grief. A soft-shell Oklahoman met his maker while riding a unicycle. Why? Yoho will tell you they just plain didn't get their dadgum bob wire over the creek before midnight. Other novels followed, each as rollicking a good time as the last. Felicia, these fish are delicious. The Moon Butterroot, with the wisdom of owls, and Me and Aunt Izzy. Me and Aunt Izzy is set in southeastern Kansas, the Little Balkans, where a young man is sentenced to moral rehabilitation in the company of his great-aunt, Queen Isabella of Spain Johnson. On the ride over to her house, the father informs the boy that the aunt attends a church where they handle snakes. The boy is mortified, but his father adds, maybe they will just start you out with worms. Take a lazy Sunday afternoon and treat yourself to one of Max Yoho's hilarious accounts of rural life in Kansas. A warning though, buy 2 copies because if you loan one, you will never get it back, and once you read it, you will want to share.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com. And we're back again. I'm Frank Chafin. This is Deb Goodrich. You know, we talk about all the things that are around Kansas. That's why we call this show Around Kansas.
Are we smart?
And there are so many great places to go. As the summer heats up, there's a great place you can go, and it's called Cinemagic Experience. And it is the longest running, continuously running movie house in not only the state of Kansas, but in the United States, and it is in Ottawa, Kansas. And so anyway, we're going to pay a visit there. There's a steakhouse that's attached to it as well, and that steakhouse has been there about as long as the movie theater has been. The entire theater has been pretty much restored. They're still adding some amenities to it, like a box office where there will be like a robotics ticket taker there that will ask them what they want and all of that. And then they're also creating a museum inside. But anyway, we'll let the story tell itself. I've been talking to you about many opera houses around the state of Kansas, and some of them have been restored and some are in the process of being restored. But today I'm going to talk about a movie theater, and the reason is because it is the oldest continuously operating movie theater in the United States, perhaps the world. It's in Ottawa, Kansas, and it's called the Plaza Cinemagic Experience. The theater has undergone extensive renovation and was restored to its original historic character, except with, of course, up-to-date sound and projection and seating. The theater museum is open during the day, and first-run movies play in the evening. The theater was actually opened in 1905, showing The Great Train Robbery and The Great Bank Robbery, of course, 2 of the first movies ever made, too. The theater opened 2 years before a theater in Denmark. It opened in 1907, so it could be the oldest operating movie theater in the world. But it is the oldest continually operating movie theater in America. The theater also features the Plaza Grill. That was part of the theater from the very beginning back in 1907. And the grill, of course, has been updated. I hear it has really good food, so you can do dinner and show all in one place. Also, it's planned for the Plaza Cinemagic Experience to have an ornate ticket booth with a talking mannequin to issue the tickets, and then displays of costumes worn in movies by the stars that wore them. So there's a museum there, the theater is operating, and of course you can have dinner at the Plaza Grill. A unique experience is the Plaza Cinemagic Experience in Ottawa. More fun around Kansas.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Well-designed container flower gardens bring beauty to your home, at your entry, on your patio, or placed in a special spot in your landscape. Let Jackson's help you select the correct plant combinations which will add the color and style you need and that will survive the summer to provide beauty till frost.
Our annual flat sale is going on now. Choose a flat of 4 packs for just $18.99.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We are having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Around Kansas, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Around Kansas. I'm Deb and Frank is with me this morning. We're going to talk about water. Have you ever seen so much water in Kansas?
Oh my, well 1993 of course was unfortunate.
It was huge.
1951, I was around to see 1951. I was a kid at the time. And in fact, you know, the WREN radio studio is in the Noto Arts District, which is downtown North Topeka, which pretty much was underwater. There's still some watermarks in some of the stores at the level that the water got to. And I'm telling you, it was over my head.
Unreal.
And, you know, it was unbelievable.
I seen, you know, when I used to have a radio show, I interviewed Harold Warswick a couple of times. We called Harold, of course, you know, with Wolf, late Harold Warswick, great guy, took a lot of photos of that flood. He did the aerial images and so much stuff that are just really incredible images. But if you didn't have those images, there's no way you could believe it. It was truly like Noah. I mean, you get the boat ready because it's like the whole world was just covered in water. And that was pretty much what did Noto in, wasn't it? That was kind of the death knell for the businesses up there?
No, not really, because the district really came back. At that time, the Kansas Avenue Bridge actually went from South Topeka and across Kansas Avenue and right on to North Kansas Avenue. But the people over there were pretty resilient and the whole area rebuilt. And so it's an interesting story, and we'll do some more stories on that North Topeka district.
Oh, great. In the meantime, let's take a look at some historic Kansas floods.
Sure.
This very wet spring has people recalling other very rainy times when the creeks and rivers swelled and overflowed. I had only been living a year in Kansas in 1993. I will never forget my first view of the Solomon River, where I-70 crosses over. It seemed a vast lake stretching along the highway. On normal days, folks likely cross it and never even notice the river is there. It was far from the first notable flood in Kansas. In 1903, papers carried news of a terrible flood at Council Grove. The loss by flood in Morris County is estimated at $1 million. 4 persons were drowned here last night. The big Main Street bridge over the Neosho River went down. All the business houses were flooded. Miles of Missouri Pacific and Katy tracks were washed out. More than 100 houses are underwater and 20 have floated away. The same flood struck Abilene. Abilene has no water, lights, post office service, or newspapers. The water in the principal streets of Abilene was 4 feet deep. A 3-story brick building containing stores and several offices collapsed in a heap. The Union Pacific, Santa Fe, and Rock Island tracks entering the city have been washed away, and 200 houses are submerged. the families having fled to higher ground. On the Smoky Hill bottoms, 10,000 acres are underwater and persons are being rescued in boats. Sherwood Murphy, a farmer, was drowned in the Smoky Hill River tonight. But the floods of July 1951 would eclipse all the others. Government sources estimated that across the Midwest, 500,000 people were left homeless and 24 people died in the disaster. The above-average rainfall began in June and continued through July 13, dumping well over 25 inches on some areas in eastern Kansas. The Kansas, Neosho, and Verdigris rivers began taking on more water than their normal carrying capacity a couple of days into the storm. As the rain persisted, flooding began all over the region. The major towns of Manhattan, Topeka, and Lawrence were most affected. The July 13 crest exceeded all previous highs by 4 to 9 feet. 2 million acres of farmland were lost to the flood. In addition, the flooding caused fires and explosion in refinery oil tanks on the banks of the Kansas River. Some train passengers traveling through the area were stuck on their trains for nearly 4 days. In all, $760 million in damages were caused by the flood. Following the great 1951 flood, a series of reservoirs and levees were constructed all over the area. In 1993, these were credited with minimizing the damage from another record flood.
From the Land of Kansas is a trademark program that helps Kansas businesses grow, produce, process, or manufacture Kansas products. Let's meet the Barns at Timber Creek, located at 14704 91st Road in Winfield, Kansas. The first barn you drive up to is the main B&B, with 5 elegant country-themed guest rooms. These elegant country-themed rooms, the birdhouse, the granary, the southwestern, the rail yard, and the barn owl are all complete with private baths, satellite TV, wireless internet, and air conditioning. Adjacent to the B&B is the Barn Owl Treehouse guest room, a private room with a bath and a tree. Within eyesight is the Stone Barn, a perfect place for wedding receptions, company meetings, or special celebrations. The Stone Barn is tucked away in the old stone quarry and is also a great site for concert venues. For more information and to make a reservation, go to timbercreekbarns.com.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
When I travel far outside of Kansas and I tell people I am from the state of Kansas, I get one of 3 reactions. Number 1, they say, "Oh, Kansas City?" Number 2, they say, "Oh, I drove through there one time." Or number 3, they'll make a Wizard of Oz joke. And I think Kansans sometimes get tired of hearing about the Wizard of Oz, but maybe it's a thing we're known for best. This poem is entitled The Yellow Brick Road. In the history of Hollywood, one show which gives me pause is that infamous movie known as The Wizard of Oz. It's about Dorothy from Kansas and how the tornado made her go off to the land of Oz, somewhere over the rainbow. She met some little munchkins and traversed the yellow bricks to a wizard and wicked witch who did a lot of tricks. Dorothy had this adventure with her little dog Toto and joined the Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and of course the Scarecrow. It's a classic movie that's become known worldwide about this Kansas girl who took this wondrous ride. But I think many Kansans think this story's not so great, because Dorothy is all some people know about our state. So we've learned that smiling patiently is the best thing we can do when some East Coaster cracks a joke about Dorothy and Toto too. But we also remind them that wherever Dorothy would roam, Her entire goal was to get to Kansas because there's no place like home. Happy trails.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress. Powered by Kansas farmers.
Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream.